What if I told you that there was one little word that could save your sanity? One little word that can help you remain competitive. One teeny little word that will make you shine and save you from burnout. Just one little word. Spoiler alert, it's not yes. If you're anything like me, it's really difficult to say no. I don't want to be seen as being difficult to work with. I don't want to be seen as not being a team player. The thing is, if you don't say no and you don't set boundaries, hello, burnout. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can start learning how to say no and why it is so important. Saying yes to everything can seem like that's the helpful approach, that's the good way to be. But the thing is that couldn't be further from the truth. Saying yes all the time can have serious consequences because your work will suffer. You're going to miss deadlines, you're going to make mistakes, or you're simply just not going to have the bandwidth to get things done. So let's talk about the art of saying no. It really is art, A.R.T. Let's dig into A for acknowledge and appreciate. I'm just going to throw another A in there. It all starts with acknowledging the request and letting the other party know that you heard them. Things like, thank you so much for keeping me in the loop on this, or thank you so much for trusting me with this project. Just let your stakeholder know that you hear them. R is for refuse, but you're going to refuse and give a reason. Now, I'm a strong believer that when you say no to something, you don't give a reason because usually then that will provide fodder for that person to fire back. For example, if someone says, hey, can you come over tonight and watch my cat? And you say, no, I need to be at home because I have to wash my hair. Then they have the opportunity to say like, oh, well, then I can just bring my cat over there. Cool, since you're going to be home anyway. Or, hey, you can just wash your hair at my house. Just come on over and do it. So if you give a reason, that gives people fodder to fire back. But in this instance at work, I'm going to say that it's okay to refuse and give a reason. So you're going to refuse politely. You're going to explain why you can't take on additional tasks at this time or why you can't drop everything and work on the thing they need you to right then. Here are some techniques. First of all, be clear and be concise. Avoid using wishy-washy phrases. I can't really. I just be clear, be concise, get to the point. Focus on using we instead of I. So when they come to you and ask a question, don't say, well, I have this or I have that. Say things like, well, if we could work together to come up with a solution, that would be great. Or you can give alternative solutions, like ask to delegate. Can someone else work on this or does it have to be me? Maybe say, can we do this tomorrow? Can we do this next week? Does it need to be done today? So altogether, it would sound something like this. Well, unfortunately, because of my current workload working on Project X, I really don't have the time to dedicate to that right now. Perhaps we could take a look at this tomorrow or even better next week, or we can ask Rebecca to go ahead and pick that up. And for an extra added bonus, sometimes I even throw in, hey, if this is really important, you could feel free to talk to my manager because they're kind of the ones that prioritize my workload. So maybe they'd have a better idea of what I could take off my plate in order to accommodate your request. Now we're on to the T in ART, which is trust and transparency. Throwing in another T. See how I did that? Maintain a trust with your stakeholder and be transparent about why you can't do what they're asking you to do. Now, maintain a respectful tone. I know that it is hard sometimes when someone keeps coming to you and asking you to do something and you just want to go, no, God, do you see what I'm working on? Do you know how busy I am? But don't do that. Just, you can do that inside. That's your inside voice. But you want to be respectful and you want to be polite. Your body language matters. Don't roll back in your chair and cross your arms and roll your eyes, all of that stuff. Don't do that. Just maintain eye contact and again, be respectful and then offer to help later. You can't do it right this minute, but give them a time when maybe you can. So it wouldn't be me if I didn't give you some bonus tips. So we talked about art, but I've got some other things that you can kind of throw in your BA backpack as well. First of all, the best BA is a proactive BA. Anticipate what requests might be coming your way. Maybe at a meeting where you're with stakeholders and you're talking about the work that's coming up in the upcoming sprint, you can see right away, hey, you know what? I am also working on this thing and this thing. I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to handle all of it. Let me talk to my boss. Let me see how I can prioritize. So be proactive. And you know what? There is great power in even just saying not now. Sometimes saying not now with a clear explanation is a great strategy. Saying not now prioritizes your current commitments, but it does leave the door open for future collaborations. Hey, if you like what you're hearing so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button down below, hit the little bell so that you can be notified whenever I have new content. That would be awesome. I know how difficult it is to say no sometimes. I know it makes you feel some kind of way, but saying no unlocks a treasure trove of benefits for you. It's going to empower you to be a better business analyst. First of all, it's going to reduce your workload. By saying no to extra stuff, that means that the current stuff that you're working on, you're going to be able to give it your all and do a good job. Saying no also lets people know that you know what your priorities are and you're working on things in a prioritized order. And in all honesty, the biggest reason to say no is to alleviate stress and avoid burnout for you. We want to make sure that you have the energy to complete the things that you need to complete without being overwhelmed and getting burnt out. When you effectively communicate your limitations and explain why you can't take on additional work, this builds trust and avoids misunderstanding with your stakeholders. Everyone knows where they stand, and it leads to much smoother collaboration. Also, saying no allows you to set up and maintain healthy boundaries. Stakeholders are going to understand your capacity and your communication, and that's going to lead to stronger working relationships because they're going to trust you. Also, by saying no, it's going to free up time for collaboration with your business partners, and also it's going to give you some time to actually be strategic. The ability to say no is a valuable skill for any professional. It demonstrates your self awareness and your ability to manage your workload effectively. It develops assertiveness. Also, being able to say no is going to boost your confidence as a BA. You're going to trust your own judgment and you're going to know that you're prioritizing effectively. And like I mentioned before, saying no is going to free up some time for you to be strategic and focus on strategic tasks, not only about work, but about your career. Take some time to invest in learning a new skill. So, that little teeny tiny word does so much. It's empowering to be able to make sure that you're keeping yourself healthy and avoiding burnout. It's also going to help you prioritize your work so you know you're working on the right thing at the right time. Saying no also helps build and maintain positive relationships. People are going to know that if you say that you can do something, that you're going to be able to do it, because if you couldn't, you would say no. Remember, the lazy BA is not about being lazy, it's about working smarter and more efficiently. That's all I got for you today, Lazy BA. Out.